The story opens in a world that already collapsing under its own weight. For years, humanity has been battling poverty, conflict, and devastation. Violent storms and volcanic eruptions shattered the planet. People managed to survive those disasters, but something far stranger followed. In the dead of night, Mary and her squad of soldiers fire a flare into the sky, illuminating the battlefield. A terrifying scream echoes through the darkness. The sound belongs to the Breakers, massive, deadly creatures that surfaced from beneath the earth after civilization fell. As these monsters charge forward, Mary and her team risk everything to hold them back. The story jumps ahead 15 years. The world has changed beyond recognition. Mary is still alive, living with her husband John and their daughter Willa. Mary now serves as a soldier and spends most of her time away from home. Because of that, John teaches Willa himself. One day he explains to her what the Breakers truly are. Willa wonders if they are aliens, but John tells her they are not. He says these creatures had always been buried underground. When the earth split open, they crawled out, and the openings are called the Stitch. Nuclear strikes fractured the ground, tearing open those stitches and releasing the Breakers into the world. Willa doesn't like hearing about the monsters and asks her father for a heroic story instead. So John tells her about Kodiak, a legendary warrior rumored to have slain 100 Breakers with a single swing of his axe. When Mary returns home, she describes things like animals, flowers, and colors to Willa, though none of those exist anymore in the destroyed world. The family enjoys a peaceful moment together until their building suddenly begins to shake violently. Military trucks arrive and warn everyone to evacuate immediately because Breakers are on their way. They had been celebrating Willa's birthday, but the happiness instantly vanished. Mary quickly gives Willa her gift and is forced to leave. Soon Mary learns of a strict rule. Soldiers must travel separately from their families. She departs with her unit while John and Willa ride in a truck with other survivors. During the journey, a frightened man notices John's old scar and assumes he is infected. A person bitten by a Breaker becomes contaminated, eventually turning into a hybrid, a monstrous creature even more unpredictable. John insists he is not infected and swears he would take his own life before endangering anyone if he ever showed symptoms. The truck rumbles through dark, ruined streets while explosions echo around them. To distract Willa from the fear, John talks about Kodiak again. He tells her the hero's battles weren't the important part, but it was the hope inside him that mattered, the hope that helped him win. That same hope is what they need to survive. Then Willa drifts to sleep but wakes to the sounds of screams and gunfire. The truck comes to a sudden stop. Everything goes silent until an enormous claw tears through the wall of the vehicle. It seizes a woman and drags her away into the darkness. Knowing they will die if they remain inside, John escapes with Willa. Outside, he immediately regrets leaving. The area is swarming with terrifying monsters. A creature snatches a child, leaving the mother screaming helplessly. John and Willa hide beneath a truck. A monster is about to find them when a soldier fires at it. The bullets do nothing, so John bravely steps in and beheads the creature. The soldier removes her helmet. It is Mary. She has saved them. She orders John and Willa to run toward the forest. As they flee, Willa witnesses the brutal reality of war. Corpses scattered across the ground and an old man bitten by a Breaker whose skin is turning black. A soldier is forced to shoot him. At the forest's edge, John sees Mary drenched in blood. She claims she's fine, but another Breaker appears. Mary must make a devastating choice. She tells her family to continue without her while she stays behind to fight. Willa cries for her mother, but John pulls her away with tears in his eyes. By morning, John and Willa reach the beach where John had hidden a small boat, but a terrified man holding a gun confronts them and demands to join them. John knows the boat cannot hold 3 people. He convinces the man to walk with him, and though we do not see what happens, it becomes clear John killed the man to protect Willa. He returns alone and they sail off. They arrive on an empty island and survive there for a year. Willa grows stronger under her father's training. John builds a wooden training area and the two of them carve out a quiet life. But whenever they look toward the mainland through binoculars, Willa's heart aches for her mother. John quizzes Willa on how to defeat the creatures. She answers, cut off their heads. For hybrids, she knows the rule, destroy the brain. She trains relentlessly. Even when she falls and gets injured, she refuses to stop until she masters her skills. For strength, Willa needs more food, so she steals 2 bird eggs but leaves one behind so it can hatch. One day, Willa discovers another girl on the island, Rosie. Rosie explains that her family died and she swam to the island alone. Willa hides her in a cave and shares her food with her. Rosie is heartbroken and lonely, so Willa tells her stories, including the tale of Kodiak and his legendary victory. The next day, Willa continues her training, but something feels off. She no longer hears her father's voice encouraging her. She turns and sees John collapsed on the ground. At home, she realizes he hasn't eaten in days. He had been giving his food to Willa so she'd have the strength to train. Willa breaks down. down. To comfort her, John hands her his sword and says, "My courage is yours now." The following day, Willa returns to Rosie's cave and everything is destroyed. Rosie stands motionless in the dark. She has died and the infection in her head wound turned her into a hybrid. Rosie lunges at Willa. Willa tries to escape but falls. Just before the monster attacks, John arrives and shoots it, but the bullets fail. He fights with his sword and smashes the hybrid skull, killing it. Willa is devastated because her only friend is gone. John tells her they cannot stop. The hybrid scream will attract other monsters. They rush back to their camp and flee across the island. Soon they reach a large gap in the ground. Willa jumps across, but John stays behind because Rosie's brother, now a monster, appears. John is too injured to fight. He urges Willa to leave, but she refuses. She turns back and confronts the monster herself for the very first time. She beheads it, but the creature keeps moving because the brain is still intact. Seeing her determination, John gathers his remaining strength and crushes the creature's skull. The danger still isn't over and another hybrid approaches. John can barely stand, so Willa gathers her courage, charges at the monster and destroys its brain in a single strike. She drags her wounded father to the beach, but John refuses to board the boat. He shows her the bite on his body. He is infected. Willa is shattered and refuses to leave him. In his final moments, John tells her, "You are a warrior like your mother and you will do great things." Then he forces her to let go. She cuts the rope and sails away as John transforms, his eyes bleeding. The boat moves too slowly and her father, now a full hybrid, charges toward her. She grips her sword, unaware that many more monsters are gathering behind him. The mountain erupts and breakers emerge in huge numbers. Willa panics and prepares to die. But suddenly, soldiers appear from the sea, firing their weapons at the breakers. Leading them is Mary, Willa's mother. Overwhelmed with fear, relief, and joy, Willa rushes toward her. Together they stand ready to face the horde, and that is where the movie ends.